Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map. In this video I want to dive in a little bit with you into astrological celestial happenings, because this week is going to be quite big. I mean, recently, since 2020, we're in quite of a conundrum, right? We're in this big hourglass of like letting go of old cycles and moving into the new cycles. Some cycles we have started, some we are kind of waiting for, some are happening right now. And I wanted to just take a look at astrology of now. For all of these, all of you who think, oh fuck, I don't know what she's talking about, we are going to be talking about this conjunction. Conjunction is when certain celestial bodies or planets or points come together, okay? They want to mingle. There is an energetic pull, resonance, or dislike, depending on the character of the planets. And when we look at this particular trio, this is big, okay? Collectively it's big, and also because it has like activation, first of all, of processes which we were going through in 2021. So 2021 we spent under the Saturn-Uranus square, which is a dynamic, activating, challenging aspect. And right now this aspect is being slowly brought back to awareness. So who knows, by October this year, you know, we might be back to some stuff that was also part of 2021 for us. I'm not saying there will be more lockdowns or stuff, but we definitely, I think, back for another opening when it comes to what we were facing in 2021 collectively. And Saturn and Uranus, they both mythologically, I would urge you also to read mythology, you know, to see how these two, father, son, one wanting the innovation and rebelling against the other, and how this in turn created you know, Venusian beauty. But not to go into mythology right now, the other aspect that is being kind of activated by this particular trio is Mercury. And Mercury is a planet of communication, it's a planet of networking, of social interaction. This Mercury is in Leo, the trio that we will be talking about is in Taurus, and Saturn is going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. So we are moving along the fixed energy line. There's big shifts happening in signs that do not like change so much. Fixed energy, which is Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio, is happening usually in the middle of the seasons, okay? In Western astrology, middle of the seasons, fixed energy, it actually speaks of safety, security. There is not much change happening in the middle of the season. We kind of arrived into the season. We're enjoying the time where we at, you know. And it's not the beginning of the season where there is a lot of energy to like introduce the season. We're in the middle of it. We're piecing out, we're chilling out. There's not much changes happening. So this energy with the players that I just spoke about, when it's fixed, it doesn't want to let go, but all the players involved want to push us to change. Specifically, I am going to go back to that trio because this is one of the most important aspects of this year. Not the only one, but one of the most important, and it's happening to us this week, you know. We can say it's happening now. Mars is moving quite fast, so soon it's going, at the end of this week, it's going to hit those two planets, but they're very close together already, like 15, 18, 19 degrees. So what we are talking about is that it's happening this week, but because it's involving the north node of the moon. And north node of the moon is a galactic evolutionary point, okay? So whatever is happening around this time will set some form of precedence for the future as well. So to just show you on the pictures, okay, what I think this is a good idea to use some cards to depict this. So I'm using Patrick's Fogarty the Living Wheel astrology cards, just to show you that we are in Taurus constellation. And then I thought, you know, why not check the constellation oracle as well? And so it's the Claire Goodman's Black and the Moon, Claire Goodchild's Black and the Moon, the constellation, like compendium of constellations oracle. So Taurus, in this particular oracle, she chose the word strengthen. And I think it's interesting to think about Taurus as fixed earth sign, very like focused on safety, security, not moving fast, enjoying the present, smelling the roses, sensual sign, very artistic, very loving to nature, and very strong, like when you think of the bull, right, like a strong sign. So with the constellation and the word strengthen, there's also this sense of, on one side, being able to use our strength for the good, or maybe sometimes, you know, holding on too strong on something that needs to change. North Node is the future, so like the head of the dragon, whereas South Node is the tail of the dragon, and it speaks more about our past gifts. So in astrology, we kind of look at South and North Moon Node as an axis. They always together. You always have to look at two of them. So if we have now collectively North Node, the future of our collective humanity, in the sign of Taurus, and the South Node, our past gifts, in the sign of Scorpio, that tells us that collectively we need to open up, tune in, encourage the Taurian side of the story, strengthen, teach, you know, live through a lesson. Taurus in tarot is Hierophant. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Another Taurian card is the Empress as well. So they both connected. How we tune into creative vision, and even in face of challenges, how do we create something of beauty, something worth living for? The cards connected to some of the cards that I just like picked, you know, connected to Taurus. We have Worry with Five of Pentacles, which is Mercury in Taurus. We have Failure, which is Saturn in Taurus. And we have Success, which is Moon in Taurus. So, you know, we can oscillate between success, failure, worry, and all the extremes of this line. So in the sign of Taurus, what's meeting is this North Node, something that we are tuning into, learning, needing to stretch our comfort zones into as humanity. We have Uranus, the big revolutionary, right? Uranus, I do have a video about Uranus, so you can take a look at this video on my channel. And Mars, that is moving faster than these two, and it's going to arrive and activate this conjunction very soon, like at the end of this week, and it's there right now anyway. So the if we just also look at what's around this, so if we look at that, so we have this Taurus trio, Mars, the god of war, the aggressive one, the, you know, go and getter, the masculine warrior archetype, action, do something, revolutionary planet Uranus, the evolutionary, revolutionary awakener, shifter, you know, transmuter. Fool is connected to the energy of Uranus as much as is also Judgment card, and Mars is connected to Tower. So you can imagine like this, like we are on the way, we are where we're supposed to be, but it might not be easy. They're not easy archetypes. And then when we look at the new moon, which is tomorrow, okay, new moon is in Leo. Leo here in this oracle says defeat. But I don't feel like it's defeat as defeat. It might be for you to defeat some tendencies, for you to defeat self-doubt. But also you may be feeling defeated. This new moon in Leo will be around, you know, it's not going to be activating these points, but it's going to be in Leo, which is in square, meaning difficult, challenging, activating, dynamic aspect to the trio. And Saturn is actually also slowly activating these points. And Saturn is in Aquarius. And in Aquarius, I didn't actually pull it, did I? Let's see. What does Aquarius keyword says here in this deck? Oh yes, sense. So that's quite interesting, because like Taurus is called sensual sign, but sense in the sense of visionary. Aquarius is a visionary sign. So Saturn is the planet of limitation and limits, and Saturn is activating this particular trio as much as is the new moon. So what we wanted to do is look at the empty space which is in Scorpio, so we could create like an energy flow, because the T-square is just like this triangle, and looking at the empty space in opposition to these planets shows us what maybe we are here to learn right now. And the empty space is Scorpio, so there is something going on with death, with past life gifts or past gifts that we already have somehow learned. And it's about, Scorpio is about digesting, releasing, letting go, empowerment, right? Scorpio ruled by Mars and by Pluto. So it's interesting to see that the empty space is like as if we were to be reminded that to be reminded about death, to be reminded about giving up, to be reminded about release. Taurus can be like a hoarder at times, you know. It likes the safety, it likes security, it likes to be comfortable, it likes things in general. But we are learning collectively how to shake this up a little bit, and how to challenge this idea of, you know, what's important in life. What does safety mean to us? Is it things, you know? Is it collecting more and more? Is it hoarding onto things? Is it hoarding people? So Uranus actually initiates shifts and changes in consciousness, collective, and wherever these planets fall in your own chart, also in your personal one, it revolutionizes our attachments. Taurus is about attaching ourselves to things, greed, holding on to things, getting more stuff, feeling the void or fear of death with things and with people, with comfort zones. And in some way, you know, we know how to stretch our comfort zones. We know we're all going to die. We are going towards death. So reminding ourselves of what's important. With this new moon in Leo, Leo is a very expressive, creative sign. So how about our creative inner spark? How can we connect to this one? How can we sense our limitations, and also that having good limits brings good future as well? So with this Uranus in the trio, you know, bringing in innovations. Uranus was discovered during the French revolutions, technological revolutions. Taurus is the sign of safety, security, earth. So Taurus rules values, our resources like food, finances, money, security, ecology, nature. It speaks about safety in a very broad perspective. So when Uranus is going through Taurus, and it went into Taurus around 2018 and already started shaking things up, and spends about 7 years in Taurus, okay? So for 7 years, so we like 3 years in, or 4 years in, we have another around 3 years to go. We are up for big shifts around all these subjects that I just mentioned. Now when we have this connection to the North Node, to our future, to where our humanity is kind of heading, there is an evolutionary, like collective evolutionary button that is being pushed, you know. And it's really time to face our fear of lack, our fear of what are we worth, and to look and challenge societal images of what are we worth, like where do we feel defeated, how can we defeat and sense another way of feeling in authority, not just because we have something or we have stuff, or that we're being valued for what we have and not like how we act, who we are. It's not about, you know, consumption and greed or overconsumption, lack of depth. We are really facing now these fears of lack and fears of being not valued for who we are, but for what we have. So check in your chart where these degrees, and we're talking about, you know, 19, 18 degrees of Taurus. Where do they fall in your personal chart? If you don't know how to do it, you know, I'm inviting you to, you know, hit me up. I'm doing astrological consultations on my website. They called Life Purpose, so you're more than welcome to you know, get on and get a reading from me. I will definitely mention this for you, but check which degrees, where this 18, 19 degrees of Taurus fall in your chart. If you don't have any other planets aspected by it, see what house they are in. So what area of life in your chart is being activated? Where are you being asked to, you know, look at all these things about values, about money, about resources, about security? What does it mean for you to really feel safe? I just realized, you know, by looking at this and preparing this video, that I did feel the safest in my life when I was the least rich, the least safe, when I started meditating, and I went through, like, I call it my little awakening moment, which lasted a couple of months. I was changing jobs. I was living in London on a very low income, studying English at the same time as working. I started meditation, and I was really, like, before I went into meditation, I was really like at the mega crisis point, okay? Crisis point, the fives in tarot, crisis point, and greatest teachers, greatest opportunities. So collectively, we are right now at this particular crisis point. Also, we're figuring out how to not take more than we need. What do you really need from life, you know? Because obviously it's not working what we are being told. We over-sexualized, we overly consumptive, we're not enjoying what we have, really. We're thinking that if we're more rich, more money, more stuff, more whatever, houses, flats, we are going to feel better, which proves when you get something of this, you know, you bored like with a new deck after 5 minutes. So this is really revolutionizing and facing us with this ultimate friend of ours, which is death, and asking us, like, what is it that you're afraid of? How can you revolutionize the way you look at the world, and then the way you use the world, you use yourself, how do you show up as a creative spark, you know, the Leo energy. Also check this new moon in Leo is where is it falling in your life, in your chart, what area of life. When Mars hits this beautiful trio in a couple of days, which is happening also right now, there is this strengthen. Be mindful, because this is a lot of energy, a lot of friction energy, a lot of active energy, a lot of awakened energy. So Mars heats up the atmosphere, it's hot. So when Mars in Taurus connects, conjoins Uranus and North Node in Taurus, Mars brings in active energy. Uranus is also already like lightning, like, you know, light bulb, like quick and ready to act, so heated up by Mars, and because Uranus is called revolutionary, there might be time of radical revolts, aggression even, you know, and it sets up the future for revolutionizing and being active about rechecking and maybe changing or strengthening the good side of Taurus, all right? The side of Taurus where maybe the worry, the failure, and success work in a better combination rather than doing the extremes of them, because the fear of failure blocks our creativity. The lack of success or feeling we're never successful or worrying about it blocks sensing or visioning the future, and we want to envision a good future right now. So right now, don't be also like surprised when you're feeling nervous, when you're feeling like you're buzzing, when you're feeling that there is a lot of like energy but you might not be able to put your fingers on it. This is time to face, you know, the inner hoarder in you. Like, what are you holding on? Are you ready to maybe let go of some of these things? It's interesting when I look at Carney's holistic astrological cards. You can see the interview with Carney, also with Patrick, and there is, like, you know, reviews of these decks. Taurus is the key, so it's an interesting concept to see, like, the pyramids, to see the key that it's being activated collectively right now. So when I take a look at this card 41, it says that in a reading, this card will send us to find the origin of the issue. It will tell us there is a secret, a law, a system, or a code to unravel. Uranus, discovered during French Revolution, changed the whole system of how things were done in France, from aristocracy into, you know, the common man. So here we may be also starting to uncover, and this is the big shift that we are in. It's a hard thing to do collectively, but that's where we're heading, you know, and facing death in the process in some way. So we have to learn what we can let go of. How can we be more respectful, use the wisdom of past generations to create the world of stability, but not overtaking, over greed, over consumption. It will tell us that we have the tools to reveal the secret by learning the natural laws. Taurus rules nature. All the Taurian people will know how much nature soothes them, helps them. For now, I would say for everybody, spend as much time in nature as you can, specifically over this week and next week when this trio is going to, like, you know, heat up. Should this card be the question we ask, indicate what not to do? If we ask what resists me, it would indicate not to research the subject and to keep things unraveled for now. Looking at the card in the meditative way will help us continue our spiritual quest and will help us continue to see clues to the sublime in all that is around us. Long-term mission is learn the natural laws. So we stepped away from natural laws. Maybe we never got back to nature the way we imagine, just because Uranus is such a futuristic a planet, and it's reshaping the way how we feel about resources, how we can use resources. When I look at this Uranus, Uranus rules Aquarius, you know, and so I picked all the cards connected to Aquarius, and we see this like waterfall. We here kind of in the middle of the, you know, sand glass. We're growing new wings, but we need to let things flow. It's not holding on to the old like Taurus would maybe wish to. The lake is the realm of Uranus, so there's this cooperation, the existing together, coexisting. Also looking at our water, our resources, you know, our natural stuff. How can we preserve them with Uranus, which is technology, you know? How can we use technology for the betterment? This is the house of vocation, which is ruled by Uranus. So collectively, where are we going? How can we climb that mountain to, you know, our North Star? And how can we not leave the blood trail behind us, you know? higher view with the positive aspect of Aquarius. Originality changes, but balanced changes. And so all of these aspects are, you know, together with Martian action, are being brought to the surface right now. And yeah, around also October, this Saturn is going to square this Uranus again, and that brings us back to 2021, really, like what was happening in 2021. We were still under lockdowns, so I'm curious how this square, which is not like direct this year, but on the same degree, very, very close, still the square. So it's like finishing something from 2021, or wrapping up something, or really coming back to, you know, subjects or themes that were happening to us in 2021. So take a look at your charts, take a look at where these changes and points are kind of activating, what area of your life is being activated. Face it, learn, you know, about Scorpio and about Taurus. Taurus is a beautiful earth sign. Scorpio is the fixed water sign. Taurus can learn from Scorpio, you know, how to look below the surface, and how to not view life as a constant and stability. It learns how to view life as a constantly changing cycle of death and rebirth, okay? And encourages non-attachment. How about non-attachment from like the spiritual perspective? And I actually wanted to also check something. So let's see these degrees. Let's see where we at in Taurus with Sabian symbols, okay? I'm just curious for myself. I haven't checked this before. So let's go from right now Mars is on 15, so 16. Let's go from 18, which is what Mars will get there, 18, 19 and 20 degrees. So 18 degrees Taurus, a woman airing an old bag through the open window of her room. We airing an old bag. We're looking at our old habits, at our old stuff that we call in. The key is to air the bag. The cleansing of the ego consciousness is, and the keyword is purification. So we're purifying something. This is the empty space, the Scorpio, we're purifying something. Then the Taurus 19, which right now, Uranus is on Taurus 19, a new continent rising out of the ocean. So it's interesting, the search of new potentiality after the crisis. We have the virginal space. We can create something of worth living for. You know, how do we envision this? So spontaneity, and that means also that we have reached a state in which the conscious, rational ego is no longer a controlling factor. So the creative spark, the sensing, the creative spark, strengthening that creative vision is important. And then the North Node right now is on Taurus 20, wisps of wing-like clouds streaming across the sky, the awareness of spiritual forces at work. So the signature of divine powers is confirming this progress. So it may reveal the meaning of what is to come next. And this is our collective North Node. The wing-like clouds may also symbolize the presence of celestial beings like devas, angels, blessing and subtly revealing the direction to take, the direction of the wind of destiny. So this is blessings of supernatural forces. That's a wonderful, wonderful confirmation. Maybe that's why the key came up here with this beautiful Taurus. You know, how can we connect to the wisdom that's around us, and how can we use and learn the natural laws, because this is something that Taurus is also really greatly reminding us of. But if you feel stressed out, if you feel upset, if you feel out of the ordinary, these powerful energies, Uranus and Mars, you know, can take a toll on us. So spend time in nature. Remember about envisioning. The key is to connect to natural laws, to build this, and to let go of stuff, purify, air the old bag, you know, and make space for originality, for cooperation and coexistence, for higher view, for vocation and collective, like waterfall of energy waterfall. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. It's a bit of a long video, but again, I encourage you to check this. If you're not a fan of astrology, or if you don't know astrology, please hit me for astrological reading. And other than that, just, you know, use any free resources that are available and take a look at where you're at. Also, if you, for example, feel like you can't afford the astrological reading at the moment, any reading you get from me, you will get a little peek into your cycles right now, with even if what do I need to know right now. So you can specify, please let me know where the conjunction, you know, of the now of Uranus and Mars and North Node falls into my chart, and I definitely will mention this for you. So thanks for watching. Much love. Thank you. Bye.